My fearless friend, are you ready to let go of shame? How many times did it happen in your professional life that you felt that you could do so much more and you felt ashamed because you were not showing your full real potential? Or were you maybe in a meeting and you were so sure that you are able and capable of saying so much more, of expressing yourself? But then something stopped you. Maybe you had your inner voice saying that you should be ashamed of yourself for even wanting to speak up. You don't belong here. You're a fraud. You are an imposter. I know that when I was employed, I would have many of these voices start to cheer me up to not do anything. I would feel very disappointed because deep down I would be always wanting to shine more, to show that I can do more, that I can be more for me more than anything. But I would sabotage myself and I would literally stop myself from saying things in important meetings. I remember having this very weird sensation in my body. I felt my heart pounding so strong because I had severe anxiety. As I wanted to speak up, I wanted to say something to maybe defend my work, to maybe get a raise, to just defend my team of freelancers that I had back then. But at the same time, another part of me was telling me that you should be quiet. You are not allowed to say anything. And I felt devastated because these conflicts, these interior conflicts are bigger than the wars we have around us, unfortunately. And fortunately at the same time, because now, my fearless friend, it's your chance to start resolving them. So please, get a pen and a piece of paper and let's get to work because I have some very interesting insight to share with you around shame. Guilt and shame are the biggest opponents that keep you from doing what you love, what you want to do, because fear happens. We all know it. I know you know it by now. If you have been listening to my episodes, I know you know how natural fear is. If you don't, please go back to the first episode and listen to everything, and you'll see how important it is to not only understand this great emotion that basically keeps you alive. Plain and simple, fear keeps you alive. Will you listen to it? Let's talk about this later on today and see how we can use fear to our advantage. But what I want you to know is that when you are shameful and when you feel guilty for feeling the way that you do, those feelings are even stronger than the original fear that keeps you blocked because you feel that you are not worthy of doing anything. You basically see yourself as a great disappointment and you are not relying on yourself anymore. Why does shame appear? Because we are growing up in environments where our family wants to protect us. Of course, our parents want us to feel safe and happy as much as possible. But unfortunately, what this does to us is to keep us in a place where we have this very comfortable, fuzzy, warm feeling that if we ever even think about going out of it, because we get a lot of background into having this great safety around us in all ways, we feel like even if we want to do more, even if we have this urge inside of us, we feel that we should be doing so much more for society, for everything and everyone around us. We cannot. This is when you get shameful because you are not 100% understanding what you are capable of doing. And we have a very big paradigm here. It's me explaining in a lot of words what fear does to us, how these emotions are being built. Because as complex as this is going to be, this explanation is rather complex as opposed to, I always like to keep it simple around fear. But what happens here is that our mind, the more it starts to complicate things, the more anxious it gets. It wants to keep things complicated because then it knows that you will not do anything different. When things are complicated, you feel stuck. Your mind thinks, well, at least they are in a neutral position. They're not going to do anything new, anything that could endanger me. And this is very painful for you, for our spirit, because deep down, our spirit is slowly dying every single time that we want to do something amazing. But fear and guilt and shame start to stop us. So, whenever you feel that you are not doing the things that you would want to, you feel this shame both towards your environment. It happens at a subconscious level, but you also feel shame for you because of you. This paradigm with fear, shame, and guilt keeps you confused. Usually, you want to be confused because if you push through it with some great questions, they are coming right up. Get that pen and a piece of paper and write down these questions. I'm going to tell them to you in just a few seconds. However, know that this is what your mind does. It sabotages you by keeping you confused, keeping you stuck, keeping you in a place of I have too many thoughts. I don't know what to do with them. It's all too complex. Let me go to sleep. I'll figure it out later on. This is what your mind wants you to do. Do not do anything that's new, anything that could potentially endanger you. Because, my friends, my fearless friends, actually, because now you are getting so much more fearless. Our mind tends to keep us in a place that we are comfortable with, even if this is a painful place. It may sound strange, but your mind does not want you to thrive. It only wants you to survive. So it brings a ton of emotions, all sorts of mixed feelings that you have no idea where they're coming from. And this is not the point. Your mind just wants you to keep you in a place that you are familiar with. Now, these questions help you to get unconfused. You will not be confused anymore because what your mind does is to get you out of that very deep subconscious level of you not understanding what to do next. You feel overwhelmed. Maybe you have panic attacks, you have anxiety. It gets you in a place where you are going to start looking for solutions. And the number one question that you need to focus on is this one. Why do I feel this? Why do I feel this? Why do I feel this fear? Why do I feel shameful? Why do I feel anxious? It gets you to look at the potential things around you that are keeping you in that position. And when you start wondering, okay, what's really happening here? It gets your mind off of that fear into that place of you looking at a new angle, at a new perspective, options. These options keep you rational. So you always want to have this question handy. Why do I feel this? In order to get your mind to decompose, to feel relieved, and to just look at all of the amazing options that you have handy. Because what happens next is that when you feel that you have the answer, the fear is going to disappear. When you know what causes the fear, when you know what causes the anxiety, then you are no longer going to feel it. It's not going to keep a grip on you anymore? This is the brilliant question, so make sure you always use it. And the second question is this one. So you know what causes the problem, what is the pain all about? You have the why. Now, the next question, and put it down, please, is this one. How can I do this despite? Because you maybe get angry. You want to see the solution despite feeling angry, despite feeling upset or depressed or anxious. You want to have the how on how are you going to get yourself out of this position and into the next step, whatever the next step is for you. Even if you don't do anything with all of these answers because it could be a lot, it could be too much for you, and that's okay. At least your mind will start to simplify things that much that you will no longer feel the need to be in that depressed mindset, in that anxious mindset. So I want you to answer to yourself to these questions. Put a timer for 2 minutes for each question. Put it down on a piece of paper, because what happens when you get aware by using your hand as you write and as you see things black on white on a piece of paper, you will be amazed how powerful your mind is when you focus on solutions. So, this is the best way that you can start to deal with these emotions, that you can truly and once and for all understand why you do the things that you do. Put this in practice. Let me know how it goes for you. And when you have questions, I'll be so happy to guide you. I am everywhere on social media, Roxana Popet. I'm also on this wonderful website with a lot of gifts for you, roxanapopet.com. Go there and download the 7-step guide to permanently conquer your fears, a brilliant mindset exercise that teaches you how to play with your mind. I truly am happy to support you, the entrepreneur, the professional in your business and in your professional life, to help both you and your team conquer your fear and stress in business, building a fear-free culture in your organization. Let me know when you have any questions. Let me know how I can help you build this fear-free empire that I know you want to build. I know you want to keep stress away from your life as you have had enough. Since I know how it used to be for me before knowing how important knowing how to deal with stress is. I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. Go on my website again, roxanapope.com, and keep your fears under control. Happy to have you here with me today, and I am going to see you soon on the next podcast episode. Enjoy your summer.